I really feel I had to make a video now. I mean, I'm not at home. Road noise. Returning out through Scotland, right in Harvard Lubnig. But my social media is still full to the brim of articles, posts about Charlie Kirk. And I just feel I have to weigh in on it. Because my Christian friends who want to mourn him, I understand. I get where you're coming from. This is a poem I already shared before. I'm going to share it again because it's relevant. I don't want to remember him. I don't want to remember him. How he sat in his kitchen, his son, my friend, and I, over coffee, and laughed until midnight. I don't want to. Not now. I don't want to remember him. When my car broke down, he came out and took me back to his garage. There in the pit, we worked until 2 a.m. on that freezing night, until that clutch was fixed. I don't want to. Not now. I don't want to remember him. How he laughed and laughed at my Halloween costume, a homemade cousin it, and joined in the fun. The coolest dad I knew then. I don't want to. Not now. I don't want to remember him. How his daughter in our band, practicing in his attic, wanted to sing "Oh Daddy" to him. I don't want to. Not now. Not now I know what things he did in the dark to his own children. And that reflected a time in my life when I had to deal with shock. A man that I really liked, thought was wonderful, cool dad, lovely family, friends with them all, really connected with them. He was such a nice guy. And he was in jail then. And it wasn't until I actually met his daughter again, hadn't seen for years, and she told me the whole story. How it had to come about and how the truth had to come out in the end. And it's really hard when someone that you like and think of as a good person, you find out they aren't. Or there's a dark side to them that you never knew happens. And I even know the big church I used to belong to, I heard blatant racism in that church from people I liked and looked up to and thought of as friends, thought of as good Christian people. It was there. And even now, there are historic allegations about things that happened in that church many years ago, of which I happen to know something. And unfortunately, it's true. Many people are saying it's false, it's allegations, it's all it is. Because you can't face up to the fact that someone you look to as a good Christian person is capable of doing those things or of being that way. And this is exactly what's happening with Charlie Kirk. He speaks your language. He talks about knowing Jesus. He talks about being saved, going to church, having family values, being a good husband and father, which I'm sure he is. I'm sure he was to his family. And I grieve for them because no one deserves what he got. No one. I don't celebrate his death. It is tragic and it is awful that he had to die at the point of a bullet. Or die at all at his age. Tragic. But most of my Christian friends are in denial. They can't see the real dark side to him from the things he said, which were blatantly racist. I mean, he actually wants political opponents to be sentenced to death. Sorry, he wanted. And not to be televised, and even have children watch that as a lesson for them. What other evidence do you need that he wanted a fascist authoritarian dictatorship, where his way was the way and that was it? And just because he speaks your language and he talks about his faith in Jesus in the same way that you do, you have to accept it's just words, in the same way that people in your churches who said all those things and you looked up to turned out to be abusers. You have to actually accept that. It's just reality. I'm not going to wasp on my coffee. All this is working because my main camera and microphone aren't here. I see in the edit if it sounds okay. I hope it works out. I just had to say something because I do get why people are mourning Charlie Kirk, but they need to face reality. he wasn't a good man like you are. Or you're another bad person like him. Okay? If you actually agree with what he said, you're not a good person. Okay? If you want to unfriend me, go away, fine, that's alright. But it has to be said. Because the horrible authoritarian regime that is emerging in America is spreading to here. We're even seeing racist rallies with Union Jacks and crosses talking about defending their faith. It's not my faith. My faith in Jesus. Not in whiteness, not in nationalism, not in what the Christian Church has upheld, state power. Charlie Kirk was not a Jesus follower. Many Christians are not Jesus followers. What they do is directly opposing to what Christ taught. It's as simple as that. And you need to wake up because you're being drawn into something that you don't belong to if you're a good Christian. Hold on. Oh, sorry, I thought the robin stopped there on the table looking for food, I think. That's okay. Just saying that there's still life out here. Well, I just wandered away a minute. Tell me for more.